Hello and welcome to another edition of Hockey at the Hall. This is your host, Anthony DiPaolo.
And I'm Sean Clancy. Hockey at the Hall. It is November 7 today, Anthony, 2013. And we're back. We got more hockey news to talk about. And this is going to be the best Thursday of your life, pretty much.
Yes, you know, Thursdays in general have just always been great. Coming here every morning.
Every day is great. Every day that you wake up and you're alive, it's a great day, Anthony.
Yes.
Especially this morning, had a pork leg and cheese. But you know, you guys up here don't know how to do pork leg and cheese, right? You got to go down to the shore to get a real pork leg and cheese. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, you Bennies don't really know how to get it done.
You know, I always prefer the sausage, egg, and cheese, but I guess if you want to go with the Taylor ham, or as people in South Jersey call it, the pork roll.
Taylor ham?
Yeah. They call it Taylor ham, egg, and cheese up here.
Okay, first off, Taylor ham is wrong. It's flat out wrong. There's no arguing that.
Okay.
Pork roll is the name of the product. Taylor ham is the company that makes it.
Okay.
It's pork roll, egg, and cheese. Taylor ham, egg, and cheese doesn't even sound right. If I go to a place and on the menu it says Taylor ham, egg, and cheese, I leave.
Interesting.
And like the guy down there that makes it for me, I think you were there. I think it was 2 weeks ago, when he was finished making it and he called out Taylor ham, egg, and cheese. I was like, "Excuse me, that's not what I ordered."
Did you just leave right then and there? Just
I took it and I left. I took it with a grain of salt, whatever that expression means, but everybody says it. So guess what, Anthony?
What?
Today, you want to know what today is?
What is today?
Today is National Men Make Dinner Day.
Ooh.
So, husbands, you got to go to the store. There's even rules they have. For the meal that you make, it must include a minimum of 4 ingredients. The men must go shopping for all of the ingredients. The men must also clean up. And aprons are optional, Anthony, on Men Make Dinner Day. So, you know what? I might end up later on making some dinner, too. I don't know how to cook, though. I might burn my house down.
Fair enough, but you want to start talking about some hockey?
Yeah, that's all I got for today.
I always love those obscure holidays you bring up, so thank you for that, Sean. But we're going to now talk about the Devils. They lost their last 2 games, and I don't know, Sean, just some pretty bad losses, especially against the Philadelphia Flyers, right after their 7-0 loss against the Washington Capitals.
Just when it looked like the Devils were starting to get it together, Anthony, we had that stretch where we were 3-1-1. Hopes are high. The Flyers lost 7-0, their worst loss in years. And then what do the Devils do? They go in there and they embarrass themselves.
Yeah, I guess you can really say that. They only got 14 shots on goal.
14 shots on goal. Most teams get 14 shots a period, Anthony.
That's right.
The entire game against a team that gave up 7 goals the previous night, we managed 14 shots.
And all they had to do, and I said this as soon as the Flyers lost 7-0, I'm like, all they had to do was just score first, score quickly, maybe within the first 5 minutes, and after that, Philadelphia wouldn't have had any confidence.
They didn't score at all.
Exactly.
And what's it now, 7 periods they're up to without a goal?
I believe so. They got 2.
Yeah, because their last goal
in
was
the
the second period of the Tampa Bay. Right. So, then following the Flyers game, that awful debacle, there was the 4-0 loss to Minnesota, which was another. And even Brodeur had a good game. Brodeur had a great game against the Flyers. I thought he played well. Him and Yager were our best 2 players, but it seems like no matter what Brodeur does, he can't get a win. The team's in one of these slumps. Brodeur only gives up 1 goal. He still can't get a win.
And then even when Schneider gets in, it's really tough to explain. Every time Schneider gets in net, then the forwards just stop playing. I think right now, not against Philadelphia, but I think 3 out of the 4 shutouts, or times we've been shut out, the Devils, Schneider's been in goal.
Well, that's unfortunate for Schneider.
Because he didn't play that badly against Minnesota.
I didn't know. I didn't think he played very bad. It was just the Devils' inability to create offense and control the flow of the play.
They've only had 14 shots against the Flyers, 19 shots against Minnesota, and 22 shots against Tampa. You're not going to win too many hockey games.
Is this what we have to look forward to when Patrick Elias retires? Because he was out for the Minnesota game, correct?
Yes.
I believe he was also out for the Flyers game. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think you were right. Zajac has also been out, though.
Zajac, too's been out. So if this is what our offense looks like without Patrick Elias and Travis Zajac, then we really should be worried.
Yeah, I mean, although you also have to take this into effect, too. Devils still have Damian Brunner and Michael Ryder, who haven't been really showing up for the past couple of games, and they need to step it up. And I think if they can, then the Devils can expect a win tomorrow against Philadelphia. But until then...
Tonight.
Thank you for that, Sean. But you're right. The Devils' offense certainly doesn't look good without Elias or Zajac. Zajac is hopeful for tonight. Not so sure about Elias, but we'll see.
Yeah, I read that Elias is definitely out for tonight's game against Philly in Philly. You know what that means, Anthony? It means you got to eat a cheesesteak today.
And because it's also husband's cook day, I'm guessing we're going to be making the cheesesteaks ourselves.
Yes, you see how things fall into place like that, Anthony?
Yeah, I know. That works wonderfully.
Wait, does cheesesteak have more than 4 ingredients, though? Because that was kind of like a requirement. Because it sounds to me from the name that it kind of only has 2 ingredients, cheese and steak.
Bread, steak, cheese, ketchup.
Peppers.
Salt, pepper, yeah, onions. There you go.
Put it on a plate. Okay, see? We're coming
plate, I think that's stretching it. That's not an ingredient. But, okay, back to hockey. Another thing I noticed, though, even despite the 4-0 loss against Minnesota, I still think the defense has been playing much better. And I think that now it's more so on the offense. Because if you think about it this way, too, Sean, Devils had a pretty good first period against the Wild.
Yeah.
A very good first period, actually. But they just could not convert. And I think that had the Devils converted at least 1 or 2 goals, because I think momentum plays a big part in it, and the Devils definitely would have given up 4.
The defense has been good, like you said, Anthony. I don't think the defense is anything to worry about. The Jelena Larson line has been working out swimmingly.
But then there's that bad luck when John Merrill comes in, second shift into his game against Minnesota, comes crashing into the boards, gets a cut on his face, out for the game.
Yes, that's unfortunate. Is there any update as to him coming back?
I believe Lamoriello said it's not serious. He's not concussed, so big relief there. And not sure exactly when he's expected to return. I'm sure he will definitely get another game just because of that awful luck. I think in that one shift he did play. I think he played very well. I know it's tough to judge on 1 or 2 shifts, but...
Andy Green's been playing well. There's Anton Volchenkov, who not so much over the past couple games, but he has been hitting this season. He's been throwing his body around. I think, he's been making a couple defensive mistakes, too, that I've noticed. But at the same time, he's out there banging bodies, which is what he was pretty much signed on for in the first place. Now, some news for the Flyer game tonight. Speaking of hitting, players that like to bang bodies, Cam Janssen was called up by the Devils. And a lot of fans didn't really like this move at first. I'll tell you why it's a good move. Number one, because none of our other forwards seem to know what they're doing anyway, other than Jaromir Jagr and Patrick Elias, but Patrick Elias sideline. Cam Janssen, I always liked the guy. Even though he doesn't score, well, there's always a little pause. He scored that first goal against Washington. You remember that, 6 years ago?
That was back in 2007, but that was a heck of a shot. I do remember seeing that.
Shot. I was so pumped, too, when he scored.
Chico was going crazy. I remember that.
Oh, yeah. He was just flying down the wing with the puck, and he wound up that big slap shot, and you just had that feeling. And then it was a laser right into the back of the net, and he just stopped and threw his arms up in the air. Chico's going crazy. I was going crazy. That was a great moment. Can you believe that was, you said that was what, 2007?
2007. That was 6 years ago.
That was
I think he's due for another goal. I think
he's due for a Gordie Howe hat trick.
If I'm not mistaken, I think his last goal he scored was when he was with the St. Louis Blues. It was when they beat the Red Wings 10-2. And when Cam Janssen scores, you know that's a bad game.
That's exactly right. So he's in the lineup tonight, Anthony. Well, actually, he's not definitely in the lineup. He's not definitely in the lineup yet, but he was called up. I don't see any reason why he's not going to be
I've seen
in
the
the lineup.
I think I've seen the projected lineups. I think he should be in tonight.
Good. And, it's against the Flyers. It's a rivalry game. A game against the Flyers in an instant can turn into a complete brawl. So it's good to have Janssen.
Hey, maybe Janssen can stand up against Ray Emery if he decides to attack Brodeur or Schneider.
Yeah, that's another thing about that 7-0 loss. The Ray Emery thing. Now, can you imagine if they were playing against the Devils and Ray Emery skated down and forced Brodeur into a fight like that? Can you imagine? I'm very disappointed in Ray Emery for what he did against Holtby. I'm also more disappointed in the Washington Capitals that they didn't stick up for Holtby.
Nobody went to him.
Can you imagine if that was Marty Brodeur? The entire team would be off the bench, and Ray Emery would probably be, I don't know, he'd probably end up in the hospital. Oh, yeah. And I've always wondered, too. You know how there's the rule that if you leave a bench to join an altercation, it's an automatic 10-game suspension, right?
Yeah.
What if the entire team leaves the bench? What do you do?
I think they would just call up the rest of the Albany Devils and just have them play.
But they can't suspend them, can they? You can't suspend an entire team for 10 games.
You probably could.
No, you couldn't. You know how much money they would lose and ticket sales and everything? You can't. Can't do it.
Well, I mean, maybe you think they shouldn't, but at the same time, though, Sean, I think rules might be rules. So that would definitely be something interesting to see and how that would turn out. My guess is that they would still carry out the suspensions anyway, and they would bring up whoever's on Albany to just fill up all those roster spots.
But then who plays for Albany?
Then they probably call up kids from the juniors. Then
who plays for the juniors?
That's a good question.
I'm going to end up in there on one of these teams.
Yeah. There you go. Now a big influx of players coming in, moving up the ranks.
I like it. So the Flyers tonight, New Jersey Devils, Philadelphia Flyers in Philadelphia. Cam Janssen, you got to look forward to him maybe starting a fight or two, providing a little bit of a spark for the Devils, who desperately need something to light a fire under their ass because they've been awful.
Another thing I really think they should do, they need to break up the Carter-Giunta Bernier line. They really do.
Yeah, you mentioned they're a combined minus, 15 or something?
I believe that Carter is a -6, Giunta's a -5, and Bernier, for some reason, is a -10. I don't know how that happened.
-21, that's a total of, right?
I will cut Bernier some slack, though.
Failed me in math.
Even though Bernier's -10 has the highest out of the three, I think I'll cut him a little bit of slack because...
Negatives, lowest, see?
Okay.
Right.
So, even though he has the lowest plus-minus, I still think that he's been one of the more impressive players because... he'll make some nice moves. He gets the puck on net, which not too many forwards have done so far in the last couple of games. So I'll definitely cut Bernier a little bit of slack. Giunta, always throwing his body around. I can always appreciate that. Also good on the forecheck. Carter, I haven't been too impressed with. So if anybody were to be sent down, I think he'd be the first one to go. And I think Giunta and Bernier should be mixed with some of the other players. Get that nice skill of balance, that balance of skill and gritty forecheck.
Well, Giunta is the only one of the three with a two-way contract. So I think Giunta would be the most likely to be sent down if they were looking to send any of them down. But you're right. They have to do something with these guys. They're three good hockey players, Anthony. But together as a line this season, they haven't been working.
It's not.
So the Devils, maybe they'll shake that line up. They're probably going to shake a lot of things up offensively tonight. Because they really need to score some goals and get a win. Because the New York Rangers, who've been winning recently, they seem to have gotten it together. Anthony, they're only on a one-game winning streak. However, their record is up to 7 wins now. They have 7 wins. They're 4th place in the Metropolitan Division. So slowly, the teams around us are starting to get it going. The Devils are sitting here getting shut out back-to-back games, haven't scored a goal since Miley Cyrus was Hannah Montana. So. And the Flyers, too. If we let the Flyers pick up a win tonight, then the Flyers are going to be ahead of us, and we're going to be, other than the Buffalo Sabres, we're going to be the last place team in the National Hockey League. So, Devils really have to get it going.
They certainly do need that wake-up call, and going back to Cam Jansen, hopefully, yeah, he can provide a spark. But in other news...
The Rangers, the Rangers, too, 5-1 win. They're not, like, barely squeaking out wins now. They went from losing games 8-1 to now they're winning games by 4 goals.
They also got Ryan Callahan back. That's big for them.
That's big for the Rangers. Like you said, though, especially against a good team like the Penguins, too. They got a 5-1 win. And, you know, I can't say I'm happy. It's never good when the Rangers and the Penguins play each other because I didn't even watch the game because I have nobody to root for.
And because we don't have NBC Sports, but go on.
I hate the Rangers. However, there's no rooting for Pittsburgh Penguins. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody that could play the Pittsburgh Penguins where I would root for the Pittsburgh Penguins. You follow me, Anthony?
I follow you.
The Westboro Baptist Church could be playing the Pittsburgh Penguins, and I'd be a Westboro fan.
Interesting.
What's next?
Okay, Jason Arnott retiring.
Jason Arnott, great player, scored the 2000 Stanley Cup winning goal on that beautiful no-look feed from Elias. Famous goal. He retired recently at the ripe old age of 39. Now I'm going to read off some career statistics of his. In 1,244 NHL games, he scored 938 points. That's impressive.
Yes.
417 goals, 521 assists, so he's a nice balanced player. And his penalty minutes, he was a tripping minor away from being a penalty minute per game player. You follow me on that one, Anthony? He had 1,242 penalty minutes in 1,244 career games played.
Ooh.
Now we're going to do a little trivia thing. You ready, Anthony? I want you, for me, to name the 6 teams that Jason Arnott played with over the course of his career. Go.
Okay, so he played for the Devils.
Right.
He played for the Predators.
Right.
He played for the St. Louis Blues.
Sure did.
Okay, so that's 3. Okay. Did he play for the Dallas Stars?
Yes, that's 4.
Oh, wow.
2 more.
Okay. Did I already say Nashville?
You said Nashville.
Okay, I already said Nashville. And I already said St. Louis.
You get 3 wrong answers. That's your limit.
Did he play for St. Louis?
Yes.
Okay. Did he play for Buffalo?
No, that's 1 strike.
No, he did not play for Buffalo.
Come on, there's a recent one, Anthony. You got Hockey at the Hall fans sitting right now banging their heads that you're not thinking of this. There's a recent one.
Recent one?
A very recent one.
Ooh. I don't know. I think I'm getting a little stumped here.
Are you giving up?
You're not going to count his second tenure with the Devils, are you?
No.
Okay. Did he play for the Sabres?
You already guessed that.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh. Sorry about that. Minnesota?
Nope, that's 2 strikes.
Any Western Conference teams?
Oh, there sure are.
Ooh, okay. So, well, actually, yeah, Dallas and St. Louis, I wouldn't be surprised.
There's 1 more west and there's 1 more east. Time's ticking, Anthony.
1 more west and there's 1 more east. Okay. Any Canadian teams?
Yes.
Oh boy.
You have 10 seconds.
The Canucks?
Nope.
Okay.
You missed the Edmonton Oilers, and this is the one that's going to kill you, Anthony. The Washington Capitals.
Oh.
You see? You're killing me, Anthony.
Wow.
So Jason Arnott, congratulations to him on a tremendous career. He was a 7th overall pick. Did you know that, Anthony? By the Edmonton Oilers. That's where he started his career, 1993. That's before I was born. How old
Yep.
are you, Anthony? Was that before you were born?
Yes, that was before I was born too.
So look at that. Jason Arnott, congratulations on a tremendous career. And, you'll be missed. He was part of the Devils' all-time best line, in my opinion. The Arnott, Sikora, Eliash line. You can't beat that.
The A line.
The A line. All right, what do you got next for us, Anthony?
Well, I guess according to this, our last piece of debate before Clancy's Crease is the goal song.
The goal song. Listen, what was the one that won? It's
Seven Nation Army.
not that we heard it because the Devils got shut out. Seven Nation Army, though. That's the one that's like, whoa, you
Yes.
suck. That one, correct?
That's the one.
Okay. So that's what you're going to be forced to hear for the next year or so. But if you're a Devil fan out there, you should be completely and utterly insulted with the new ownership and the road that they've strung you down. It's insulting. It's embarrassing. They lied to us about this fan vote. It was completely, what's the word?
You think it was rigged?
It was rigged. It was completely rigged. There was something kinky about it. It wasn't right. So, Seven Nation Army. Get used to them because you don't have a choice. And the fans, Anthony, are just going to add "you suck" to the end of it.
Oh, and that's why I think I'm okay with that choice, Seven Nation Army, because I think you remember, Sean, that was a really easy song to get the chant, the "you suck" chant going. And
By the third goal against the Rangers, they already incorporated the "you suck."
I mean, so if the fans really just want to keep that chant in there, then by all means, just play Seven Nation Army. But I still think they should go for something more metal, something that will really get the fans pumped up after each goal. But
I still think it should be
Just as-
Gary Glitter.
just as long as they score.
I was watching a video of the Adam Henrique overtime goal against the Rangers in the playoffs 2 seasons ago. It was a video. It wasn't the actual broadcast video. It was actually somebody in the stands with a camera. And he scores, and the place explodes. And you know what the best part about that video is?
The chant.
When the song kicks in. Because it's so loud, and everybody joins in. And it's heartbreaking. I don't see any good reason why they've gotten rid of it at all.
I don't know either, but
All right, listen. I don't want to get all upset. It's a beautiful day. What else is there?
let's
to
go.
talk about?
Let's go to Clancy.
You want to talk
Clancy's
about? Hold
Crease.
on. Did we talk about? Okay. Well, we'll talk about Brodor's a goalie, right? We'll talk about him and Clancy's Crease. All right. So the Brodor thing. A lot of the fans are getting worked up because Brodor was in an interview and he was asked a stupid question, which was what was the question even?
Something about him staying with the team. Like, would he stay with the team for the entire season?
The only thing that Marty Brodeur said was basically that if push came to shove, that he wouldn't be completely opposed to waiving his no-trade clause at the trade deadline if dealing him away meant that, he could go somewhere that might be a contender, and the Devils can bring in players that might make them a contender.
Yes.
Even when he answered the question, he basically said, he would do it for reasons that would help out.
Yeah,
the team.
exactly. Because I remember you complaining the Rangers memes page or something. Or making
Rangers
fun of-
memes page. I don't know who the moron is that runs this page. Let me bring it up.
Well, but while you're doing that, but I agree with you, Sean. I think I read the quote a little bit, and the way he made it sound like is that even if he does leave, he'll only do it if it can benefit the Devils, which, I really can't blame him. I mean, because he knows his time is running low. The Devils already have Corey Schneider, who eventually is going to lead this team to winning games, because I think Corey Schneider is still an exceptional goalie. Because, not everybody can compete for the starting job with Roberto Luongo like the way he did.
Here's what the Rangers Facebook page posted. Marty Brodeur considering waiving his no-trade clause to a playoff contender team, due to the fact that the Devils probably are not making the playoffs. LMAO. So I don't know where he got that information, but it's completely inaccurate. And everybody's getting all worked up about it.
Well, I guess by
But it was a
inaccurate,
question
I
that
think
he
they
was
left
asked.
out some key parts. I think that's their main problem.
They have a lot of problems, Anthony.
Yeah.
It was a what-if question that they asked Marty Brodeur. And so he answered it with a what-if answer. But it doesn't mean it's going to happen. It doesn't mean he's planning on it. He had to come out. There was a follow-up so he could clear all this up. He came out the next day and said that, he has no intention of leaving the New Jersey Devils right now. So, people get all worked up about these, but this is really a non-issue as far as I'm concerned. And if the Devils are looking to make a trade, whether it be now, whether it be at the trade deadline, I don't think dealing Brodeur away is going to be, the main consideration for the trade. I think there's a lot of other moves that the Devils can make long before they trade Brodeur away. But moving on from that, what else do we have for Clancy's crease? There's a Craig Anderson. He was injured. It was a neck injury. Somebody crashed the crease. He was down low on the ice, and his neck got all jammed up. It took him off on a stretcher, Anthony, but it was just a precautionary thing. It's nothing serious. He skated today or yesterday, one of these days, probably yesterday. It's pretty early right now. Skated yesterday, but there's really no timetable for when he might be back. But he is skating again. I don't think he's facing shots, but he did skate. And then there's a Kari Lehtonen save. If you haven't seen the save, Kari Lehtonen on the Dallas Stars, he made this save. The puck was behind the net. He was all scrambled. It came out in front of the net on the opposite side that he was on. He swung around, and with his left leg, he bent it over, and he kicked the puck off the goal line over his head. I don't know how his legs bend like this, Anthony.
He looked like Gumby.
Who's Gumby?
Oh, okay. No, just keep going. It's going to take me too long to explain.
What a
just
save.
Keep going.
It may even make top 10 saves coming the end of the year. So that's it. That's all I got for you for Clancy's crease, Anthony.
Yeah, I mean, before we close it out, I just have to say though, that Kari Lehtonen is one of the more underrated goaltenders in the league.
Oh, I love him.
Oh yes, great goaltender. One of the reasons why I kind of like rooting for the Dallas Stars, right up there with the Phoenix Coyotes, who Mike Smith, other than the game against Anaheim last night, has been playing very well too.
Yes, he has. So what are you doing this weekend, Anthony? You got any big plans? What'd you do last weekend?
Last weekend, I did more public address for the Seton Hall hockey team, and they go right back to action in West Orange Saturday night. So I'll most likely be manning the mic once again.
How's the Seton Hall hockey team doing? All right.
They're doing all right. They could be doing better, kind of like the Devils at this point, getting outshot every game, but sometimes they do pull out some pretty good wins.
You got any big plans for this weekend coming up? You got any dates lined up? It's the holiday season, Anthony. You got to start lining up some dates. You got to take some girls out to the city to a show, take them to TGI Fridays or something in Times Square. You know there's 3 floors in the TGI Fridays in Times Square?
Not surprised.
You got to take them out to see the lights. Take those pictures, put it on Facebook in front of the tree. You know what I'm saying, Anthony? This is how it's done.
Yeah, I mean, next weekend I am going down to Georgia, calling a basketball game for the Seton Hall men's team, so I'm definitely looking forward to that.
You got to pick up a nice Georgian girl down there.
Ooh, absolutely.
You know what I did last weekend? I played hockey, like roller hockey, outdoor. It was beautiful out. Pick up roller hockey for the first time in months.
And speaking of which,
you all excited?
My town has finally done something right. They're working on our rink, which is only not even 2 blocks away from my house. I literally grew up in that rink. A couple summers ago, they dumped a lot of dirt on it because there was a brook that ran through that the soil was quote-unquote contaminated. And for a while, it was just sitting there just as a parking lot. Really heartbreaking. But
they're fixing it up all fancy-like?
They're just repaving it. They still have the boards there, but just as long as they put down the new asphalt nice and smooth, especially over winter break, I will be there and I'll be playing a lot of hockey.
Call me when it's ready. I'll come christen it.
All right, sounds good.
But I really got to get back in shape because when I played hockey, Anthony, I was dead after 15 minutes. My neck was killing me. I had all kinds of things going wrong. I took a shot to the knee. That still hurts.
I feel that same way. But that wraps up our episode of Hockey at the Hall. Hopefully the Devils will win tonight against the Philadelphia Flyers. And hopefully by our next podcast, we can talk about how the Devils are on another upswing. So, with Anthony DiPaolo and Sean Clancy, We will see you guys next week.
Just a minute. Why don't you let me say my own name anymore when we finish?
Do
it again.
Okay, so this is all right. So now, really signing off. This has been Anthony DiPaolo.
And I'm Sean Clancy. And listen, you beautiful people of Hockey at the Hall. I'm going to be in Atlantic City this weekend. On Saturday, I'm going to be at the Trump Taj Mahal. My best friend, shout out to him. He's an MMA fighter, amateur MMA fighter. He's got a fight lined up, the Trump Taj Mahal. So I will be in AC on Saturday night. I'll be there signing autographs. Come see me.
Sean is everywhere signing autographs. So that concludes our episode of Hockey at the Hole. Just be sure to tune in next week.